This is the familiar face of wearable computing, Google Glass. And Prof. Thad Starner, whose enthusiasm is infectious.
Which is brilliant!
He's worn wearable computers since 1993 and says he never misses a beat.
Being able to get an SMS in and be able to respond that quickly, my students actually really like the fact that I have Glass now, because when they SMS me, I'm much more likely to give them a response, right? As opposed to ignore it until the end of the day.
Starner was guest of honour at the International Symposium on Wearable Computers at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, or ETH. The institute itself is researching smart fabrics made up of flexible thin-film transistors. This armband measures the heartbeat and blood oxygen levels so doctors can remotely monitor patients and get a heads up of any change in condition. One step further is this incredibly flexible membrane. It's also coated with thin film transistors and finer than a human hair. It's a new take on gold leaf. Scientists hope it could remotely monitor crops or even be deployed on a contact lens and eventually be implanted inside the body.
The advantage of these electronics is, of course, they can adapt to the shape, so they also adapt to the movement of the human body, and therefore they are much more unobtrusive than bulky silicon chips.
Smart fabrics are also making stylish inroads into fashion.
We all know that technology's got cleverer, but it's also got much, much smaller and more elegant. It's so small, in fact, it can be discreetly integrated into fashion like this. And no, I'm not going to put the dress on.
This is a series of garments that have illuminated designs on their surface that you can control with your smartphone.
And these therapeutic gloves are for stroke victims to mirror the motions of their working hand and regain movement they've lost in the other.
They watch the movements of the unaffected hand and then map those movements to the affected hand. So the glove gives both visual feedback through these LEDs and haptic feedback through vibrating motors on each finger.
Wearable tech can also monitor our body's movements when we're in a crowd, like when we all scurry off for lunch. Apparently we walk on the same side as we drive. ETH's Wearable Computing Lab has been taking a bird's eye view of crowd behaviour.
So everybody who's moving south is coloured in red, everybody who's moving west is coloured in blue.
Researchers analyse signals from that ubiquitous wearable tech, the mobile phone, to create dynamic maps of visitors to Zurich's annual Zurifest festival.
Streams of humans cross each other, create typically these turbulences.
Turbulence can be dangerous because it's unpredictable and can lead to a crush. If safety experts can anticipate these crushes, popular events would be far safer.
What if I can actually predict within 1, 2 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, where the crowd will be like, and that will be probably some interesting information for crowd managers to deal in time, because what we saw when we observed the cameras and our density maps, which we updated every two minutes, that 2 minutes and 2 minutes a lot of stuff can happen already.
Wearable computing does throw up some issues. Are we controlling the tech, or is it controlling us? In a competitive world where everyone's getting a performance edge through wearable computing, aren't we all going to have to use this stuff? The question for the next decade is, will we have a choice over where we end and the machine begins?